Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of history's most renowned military leaders and conquerors. I'm your host, General Biography. Today, we're going to explore the extraordinary life of Genghis Khan, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most feared and respected warriors in history. Born around 1162 AD in the Khentai Mountains of Mongolia, Temujin, later known as Genghis Khan, was the son of Yesugei, a Mongol chieftain, and his wife Hoelun. The early years of Temujin's life were marked by hardship and struggle. His family belonged to the Borjigin tribe, a subgroup of the Mongols who were constantly at odds with neighboring tribes. The Mongolian steppes where Temujin grew up were a vast expanse of grasslands, mountains, and rivers stretching as far as the eye could see. This unforgiving environment taught Temujin the importance of resilience, adaptability, and cunning from a young age. As a child, Temujin received traditional Mongolian training in archery, horsemanship, and wrestling. He was also taught the importance of loyalty, honor, and family by his father, Yesugei. However, tragedy struck when Temujin was just 8 years old. His father, Yesugei, was poisoned by a rival tribe, the Tatars, while on a diplomatic mission. This event would have a profound impact on Temujin's life, leaving his family without a leader and vulnerable to attack from their enemies. After Yesugei's death, Hoelun became the de facto leader of the family, working tirelessly to protect her children and ensure their survival. She taught them the importance of resilience, cunning, and determination, qualities that would serve Temujin well in his future endeavors. The family struggled to make ends meet, often relying on the charity of neighboring tribes for food and shelter. As Temujin grew older, he began to take on more responsibilities within the family. He helped his mother with daily tasks such as herding animals, gathering firewood, and fetching water from nearby streams. He also formed close bonds with his siblings, particularly his brother Jamuka, who would later become one of his most trusted allies. One significant event in Temujin's early life was his marriage to Borte, a woman from the Olkhana tribe, when he was around 16 years old. This marriage was likely arranged by his mother or other relatives and would prove to be a pivotal moment in Temujin's life. Borte would become his lifelong companion, trusted advisor and partner in his future conquests. The early years of Temujin's life were also marked by significant events that shaped his character and future path. He was exposed to the harsh realities of tribal politics, where alliances were forged and broken with ease, and violence was a constant presence. He learned to navigate these complex web of relationships, often relying on his wit, charm, and cunning to secure his family's safety. As we explore the early life of Genghis Khan, we see the makings of a remarkable individual, a boy who grew up in a world of violence and uncertainty, yet developed the strength, intelligence, and charisma to unite warring tribes and forge a vast empire. The seeds of his greatness were sown in these formative years, shaped by his family, culture, and the harsh environment of the Mongolian steppes. As Temujin grew in strength and influence, he began to attract followers from various Mongol tribes. His charisma, intelligence, and military prowess made him an attractive leader, especially among those disillusioned with their current chieftains. One of his earliest and most significant allies was Jamuka, his childhood friend and brother-in-law. Together, they formed a powerful partnership that would help Temujin consolidate his power. In 1206, Temujin was formally recognized as the Great Khan by a gathering of Mongol chieftains at the Kurultai, a grand council on the banks of the Onon River. This moment marked a significant turning point in his life as he began to unify the warring tribes under his leadership. He adopted the title Genghis Khan, which translates to universal ruler, and set about creating a more centralized and organized system of governance. Genghis Khan's military campaigns were legendary for their brutality, strategic brilliance, and lightning speed. He introduced innovative tactics such as the feigned retreat, where his army would pretend to flee only to lure their enemies into a trap. He also developed a sophisticated intelligence network, using spies and scouts to gather information about his enemies' movements and weaknesses. One of Genghis Khan's most notable conquests was the Tangut Empire, which he defeated in 1207. The Tanguts were a powerful and advanced civilization, known for their impressive cities, sophisticated irrigation systems, and rich cultural heritage. However, they were also notoriously corrupt and decadent, with a weak and divided leadership. Genghis Khan exploited these weaknesses, using his intelligence network to identify the empire's vulnerabilities and launching a series of devastating attacks that ultimately led to its downfall. Genghis Khan's military successes were not limited to the Tangut Empire. He also conquered the Jurchen-led Jin dynasty in northern China, as well as the Western Xia and the Muslim kingdoms of Central Asia. His campaigns were often marked by extreme violence, with entire cities being razed to the ground and their inhabitants slaughtered or enslaved. However, he was also a shrewd politician, knowing when to show mercy and leniency to his defeated enemies. As Genghis Khan's empire expanded, he established a sophisticated system of administration known as the Yasa. This code of laws and regulations governed everything from taxation and trade to crime and punishment. It was a remarkably modern and efficient system, which helped to maintain order and stability across the vast territories under his control. Genghis Khan's personal life was also marked by significant events during this period. He had many wives and concubines, but his relationship with Borte remained strong throughout his life. She was his trusted advisor and partner, often accompanying him on military campaigns and providing counsel on important matters of state. His early life experiences, including his family struggles and the harsh environment of the Mongolian steppes, had instilled in him the qualities necessary to succeed as a leader: resilience, adaptability, and cunning. As Genghis Khan grew older, he continued to expand his empire, launching a series of campaigns against the Western Xia and the Muslim kingdoms of Central Asia. One of his most notable conquests during this period was the Khwarezmid Empire, which he defeated in 1220. The Khwarezmid Empire was a powerful and wealthy state that controlled much of modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, and Uzbekistan. Genghis Khan's victory over the Khwarezmids marked the beginning of a new era of Mongol dominance in the region. Despite his advancing age, Genghis Khan remained a formidable military leader, known for his cunning and strategic brilliance. He continued to innovate on the battlefield, introducing new tactics such as the use of spies and scouts to gather intelligence about his enemies' movements and weaknesses. His military campaigns were often marked by extreme violence, with entire cities being razed to the ground and their inhabitants slaughtered or enslaved. In 1227, Genghis Khan launched his final military campaign against the Western Xia, which he had been warring with for many years. The campaign was a brutal and devastating one, with the Mongols using siege engines and other advanced technologies to breach the walls of the Western Xia's capital city. Genghis Khan died in August 1227 during the siege of the city, possibly due to injuries sustained in battle or from illness. Genghis Khan's legacy is complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, he was a brilliant military leader who united the Mongol tribes and created a vast empire that stretched from China to Eastern Europe. He introduced a sophisticated system of administration known as the Yasa, which governed everything from taxation and trade to crime and punishment. He also promoted trade and cultural exchange between different regions, helping to spread ideas and technologies across the ancient world. On the other hand, Genghis Khan's conquests were often marked by extreme violence and brutality, with entire cities being destroyed and their inhabitants slaughtered or enslaved. His military campaigns had a devastating impact on the populations of the regions he conquered, leading to significant losses in terms of human life and cultural heritage. His early life experiences, including his family's struggles and the harsh environment of the Mongolian steppes, had instilled in him the qualities necessary to succeed as a leader: resilience, adaptability, and cunning. Genghis Khan's impact on world history cannot be overstated. He helped to spread trade and culture across the ancient world, facilitating the exchange of ideas and technologies between different regions. His empire also played a significant role in shaping the modern world, with many of the territories he conquered remaining under Mongol rule for centuries. As the Mongol Empire expanded, it also facilitated the spread of diseases, such as the Black Death, which had a devastating impact on European populations. The Mongols also introduced new technologies, such as the stirrup and the composite bow, which revolutionized warfare in Europe and Asia. In conclusion, Genghis Khan's later years were marked by continued military conquests and the expansion of his empire. His legacy is complex and multifaceted, reflecting both the brilliance of his military leadership and the brutality of his conquests. As Genghis Khan once said, "I am the flail of God. All men are equal before me, and the weak will be protected." These words reflect the contradictions of his character, a man who was both a brilliant leader and a ruthless conqueror. Thank you for listening. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.